Bojo Kanoya, a pegish imnoya yeg pane. We here at Nipissing Nishnaabemwin believe peer review is an important process in the education process. However, due to lack of speaker accessibility, scheduling, and these lessons being produced by second language learners, we tend to make mistakes in how Nishnaabemwin is represented. We encourage you to think with a critical mind when watching our videos and question the validity of something said in the video that catches your attention. We are language learners and naturally don't know what we don't know. We don't discourage others from helping us out by educating us, and if you see a mistake you would like us to rectify, you can do so by contacting the email in the video description. We also ask for your patience in waiting for edits, because it is a long process to edit mistakes we share in our videos, and there is the possibility that it might not align with the speakers of Nipissing First Nation. Miigwech Bisinduyang, Wewe Nog Nawam Damuk.
On in Bojo Kanoya, Mr. McLeod Mondai Amina, Bajinak Queen Ween Monim. I just want to let you guys know that links to the dictionary, PDFs to the worksheet, audio files are in links in the description of this video, as well as any other resources that'll help you out with this lesson will eventually be there as soon as I'm done making them. Aho, miigwech.
Today's lesson is on VTA interactions between third and fourth person paradigms. Today we're talking about people acting on one another, acting between third and fourth person. Up until this point, we've been using our VTA words as imperatives, commands, to boss people around. From here on, we're going to be using our VTA words in statement-like forms or clauses. This lesson is going to be split into two parts. The first part will be how we mark who is third person and who is fourth person. The second will be how we express who is acting towards whom. Here are the points for you to write down in your notes. Make sure to pause the video here before moving on. Misae, ambe. Here we have the sign to make sure that you guys write everything down before we move on. In English, we determine who is doing action to whom by word order, also known as syntax. For example, the man sees the moose, or the moose sees the man. English uses the following syntax pattern. Subject acts on object. From here, we can see that in English, the actor or the subject is the first noun in our sentences. The object or the one being acted upon is the second noun at the end of our sentences. Pause the video here and write these points down before we move on. Miskoye, ambe. So we still have the sign up, meaning that you should write these points down as well before moving on. Ojibwe doesn't use word order to this extent, so it relies on the use of markers to express who is acting towards whom. All of the following means the same thing. The man sees the moose. Nene wabman e mozon. Wabman nene e mozon. Mozon wabman nene. And any other combinations of those words. Pause the video here and make sure you write down these points in your notes before moving on. Miskoye ambe. Part Bejik, marking who is third person and who is fourth person. Third person has no markings, it's just the plain Jane noun. Fourth person is marked by adding the plural suffix, but changing the signature G or K sound to an N sound. So for example, instead of daba teg, daba ten, daba nug, daba nun. Kikok, kikon. Sabig, sabine. Kwewag, kwewan. When adding the suffix to our fourth person, don't forget our second last consonant rule is still in effect. Here are the points for you to write down in your notes. Pause the video here and write these down before moving on. Miskoye, ambe. We have the sign up, meaning that you should write these down before we move on. Part niche. Are we acting on third person or fourth person? Our VTA A-form inflections comprise of a pronoun prefix and a directional suffix. This lesson's pronoun prefix is a singular O, and it represents third person. Make sure to write these down before we move on. We'll give you a chance to pause here. Miskoye ambe. We simultaneously use the following prefix, our signature O sound, and suffixes, examples AAN, on, and IGOON, agon, to either communicate third is acting on fourth, or third is being acted upon by fourth person. We'll give you a chance to pause here to write these down in your notes before we move on. Miskoye ambe. Because of syncopation, we will almost always de-stress the O prefix. However, if the VTA word starts with a vowel sound, either a long or de-stressed vowel sound, we will start our VTA word with a D prefix, followed by the following long vowel sound and or re-stress the short vowel that was originally omitted. Make sure to write this down before moving on. Miskoye ambe. So when to use our D prefix? We have the sign up, meaning that you should write all this down before moving on. The D prefix appears directly in front of a transitive verb, but after a pronoun prefix. This lesson, it's our O prefix. The shortcut rule is if the transitive verb doesn't start with a vowel sound, we do not use either prefix. The reasoning behind that is that the O sound is de-stressed, and the D is not needed here. And if the transitive verb starts with a vowel, use the prefix D instead of OD. Make sure to write these down before moving on. Miskoye ambe. So in this particular example, our verb no swaj starts with no vowel sounds. It doesn't have them de-stressed or stressed. So we simply add our O prefix to no swaj, and then we de-stress it because we are syncopators. For stressed initial vowel sounds, we're using the example on me. It starts with a double A sound, which is stressed. For this one, before adding the O sound, we include a D sound right after it to protect the verb. And then we de-stress our short O as necessary. This is how we go from on me to don me. The next example has a de-stressed initial vowel sound. It's that I sound before the no sound. From here, we re-stress that A sound from before, and then follow the same procedure as the last verb. We add the OD sound in front of the I, and then we'll de-stress the O sound as necessary. This is how we go from no to didn't know. Make sure to write these down before we move on. We'll give you a chance to pause here. Miskoye ambe. Part niche. Are we acting on third person or are we acting on fourth person? First, consider your second last consonant rule before adding any suffixes to any words in Ojibwe. So we have gnawabum. Now before we add any suffix, let's count to the second last consonant sound. The last consonant sound is an M sound, M. The second last is a B sound, B. Look on either side of this consonant sound. If there's a vowel sound in front of the B and a short one after, we get rid of the short vowel sound. Double A is a vowel sound. Single A is a short vowel sound. From here, we will de-stress that A sound, bring the M sound in, and then add our suffix. Our other example here, mesh tone, is another VTA. Let's count to the second last consonant sound. The last consonant sound is an N sound. The second last consonant sound is a T sound. Let's look on either side of the consonant and see what we're dealing with. In front of the T sound is another consonant sound, SH, sh, and it's not a vowel sound. If we were to drop the following short vowel sound after the T, we would have 3 consecutive consonant sounds. This would be too difficult for us to pronounce. So this situation prevents us from dropping or de-stressing our short vowel sound. The second reason why we can't de-stress for this example is following the T is a double O sound. And in Ojibwe, we do not de-stress our long vowel sounds. So from here, we would simply add our suffix without de-stressing anything. Also, since some VTA words tend to morph when suffixes are added, we have to pay close attention to the enders. In today's lesson, those are our dummy N, AW, and glottal stop enders. So for example, no swaj is one of our dummy N enders. When we add suffixes today, the ZH sound at the end will turn to an N sound. No swanan. Or no swane gon. Our AW example is bezindao. We'll get rid of that A sound at the end and add our suffix to produce bezindwan. For this inflection, our AW morphed with our suffix to produce bezindagon. Our glottal stop example is mikoji, and from here we change the glottal stop to a Y sound and then add our suffix. So our verb is pronounced mikojiyan. Same rule applies here when we add igon to mikoji. We change the glottal stop to a Y and then add our suffix. This is pronounced like mikojiyegon. We have another glottal stop variation in shke. For this one, we're going to change our glottal stop to a Y sound as well, and then add our suffix. So we go from inshke to inshkeyon. Same here, we're going to turn our glottal stop to a Y sound and go from inshke to inshkeyegon. Lastly are our examples with a single consonant sound before the glottal stop. Bapa. For this one, we're going to get rid of our short vowel sound and glottal sound and just add the suffixes. So we'll go from bapa to bapon. Same thing as before, we're going to drop the short vowel sound and the glottal stop and add our suffix. This is how we go from bapa to bapagon. Here we have the sign up, meaning that you should write this all down before moving on. For our VTA words, it's good to get used to understanding where the action is being directed to, which is communicated through our suffixes. Suffixes that start with a double A, like in on, mean action is coming from our pronoun prefix. So we have VTA, on, meaning third person is acting on fourth person. So an example of that is wabman, which means third person sees fourth person. Suffixes that start with an ig sound, like in igon, mean action is being directed to our pronoun prefix instead of from. So the paradigm is VTA, igon. This means third person is being acted upon by fourth person. So for example, wapmigon, third is seen by fourth person. Make sure to write this all down before moving on. We'll give you a chance to pause here. Miskoye, ambe. How to understand who is being acted upon. So, third to fourth, the man sees the woman. From here, we see that the subject is acting on the object. Third is acting on fourth. The woman sees the man. The Ojibwe equivalent is Nene wabman ikwewen. The inverse, where third is being acted upon by fourth person, is like so. The woman is seen by the woman. In this example, fourth person is doing the acting upon third. And the Ojibwe example, Nene wabmigon ikwewen. Alright, we have the sign to write these all down before we move on. So from here, we're going to model how to manipulate your VTA words to express third is acting on fourth or fourth is acting on third. So our M ender is chim, chimon ikwewan nene. The man is talking about the woman. Chime gun ikwewan nene. The man is being talked about by the woman. We have our glottal stop enders in all three variations modeled here for us. Mikoji yan ikwewan nene. The man is teasing the woman. Dan me yan e bibi san nene. The man is giving the baby heck. Bapan ikwewan nene. The man is laughing at the woman. Mikoji ye gon ikwewan nene. The man is being teased by the woman. Dan me gon e bibi san nene. The man is being given heck to by the baby. Papagon ikwewan nene. The man is being laughed at by the woman. Make sure to write these down before moving on. We'll give you a chance to pause here. Miskoye, ambe. We have the sign up. Make sure to write these down as well before we move on. Pkidin is our N ender. Pkidnon is SB nene. The man is letting go of the rope. Pkidnegon is SB nene. The man is being let go of by the rope. Our dummy N ender is no swaj. No swanan emozon mkwa. The bear is following the moose. No swangon emozon mkwa. The bear is being followed by the moose. Make sure to write these down before we move on. We'll give you a chance to pause here. Miskoye, ambe. We have the sign up here, so make sure to write down these as well before moving on. Our AW ender is Bizindao. Bizindwan bibi san kwe. The woman is listening to the baby. Bizindagon e bibi san kwe. The woman is being listened to by the baby. Our fused W ender is no. Dinoan e bibi san nene. The man is pointing at the baby. Dinowegon e bibi san nene. The man is being pointed at by the baby. Make sure to write these down before moving on. We'll give you a chance to pause here. Miskoye, ambe. Lesson recap. For indicating who is verbing whom between third and fourth person, English uses word order, also known as syntax, but Nishnaabemwin uses a marker system. Third person doesn't use any markings, but fourth person is indicated with its plural suffix, but we changed the signature G sound at the end to an N sound. Our VTA words are inflected with an O prefix representing third person. This suffix is mostly de-stressed, or a D suffix is used in its place for transitive verbs that start with a vowel sound. Our VTA words are also simultaneously inflected with either suffix that directs the action from the pronoun prefix, AA, on, or directs the action towards the pronoun prefix, ig, igon. We have to remember to apply our second last consonant rule to our nouns and verbs when adding our suffixes. Dummy end, AW, and glottal stop are subject to morphing when adding our VTA suffixes. Chimigwech besindueg nongum, mise aja. Thank you all a lot for listening to me today. That's it for now.